Hello. Okay, sorry. No, I haven't done one of these in a while. Hi, it's Rob again, in case you've forgotten who it is. Anyway, I'm going to go over The Dark Knight Rises, some of a summary. I won't spoil anything. I'm just going to tell some of the things I liked, what I didn't, and whatnot. I had a video that I did with my brother yesterday, but it was split up in two parts, and I like these things to be in one part. And that's my dog barking in the background. Before I start this, though, I heard this morning that in Aurora, Colorado, there was a shooting at one of these Dark Knight Rises premieres, and 12 people were killed, and more than I think 50 plus people were injured, including a child. It's uncalled for. It's a sad situation, so I just send out my condolences and prayers for those families who are hurting right now. But let's not have this be a somber video. Talking about The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan's final act of this Batman trilogy, and it sends it off in spectacular fashion. This Batman going against possibly his greatest villain ever after the Joker, Bane. And if you ever read the story Nightfall by Doug Moench and Chuck Dixon, miss you, Chuck, by the way. Basically, I'm just prefacing from the story, the comic. Bane breaks out everyone from Arkham Asylum, and then just watches as Batman goes through hell to take them all down, and then he's there waiting for Batman at the end. And in the comic, he breaks him right in half. He's a broken bat. And this, though, it's a little different to a degree. It starts off 8 years after Harvey Dent died. Batman took the blame for it, said, "I killed him," trying to cover up the police corruption. And it starts off pretty interesting. There's I guess it's a ball or whatever the heck it is, and Batman and Catwoman are dancing with each other, except it's Selena Kyle, and she kind of sneaks in to take his mother's pearls. By the way, Anne Hathaway really impressed me here. She's kind of the breakout star of this movie, and good for her. She deserves it. Back to the point, though. So from there, the beginning of the movie, though, I'm not giving that away. That's probably one of the best starts to a movie I've seen in a minute. Shows that Bane is deadly serious. So fast forward a little bit into the movie. Show that it's peacetime, but then Bane comes in and just destroys it. He goes one-on-one with Batman eventually and breaks him, and he's broken, and he has to climb out of this prison. Backtracking, there's a couple other people in this movie that I got to talk about. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it kind of left it open-ended for him after this movie, so he may take on the mantle of the Bat in later films. Who knows? Gary Oldman, great as Commissioner Gordon once again. I'm thinking of it. Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. His little parts were good, great. The inclusion of the Batwing in here is awesome. Michael Caine as Alfred J. Pennyworth is amazing. Who else? Tom Hardy as Bane. The only thing I didn't really like is you have to listen very carefully to what he says. You have to. It sounds a little muffled when he's talking about, "This is Gotham," and the whole Venom and all that. It's interesting, but Tom Hardy is a powerhouse in this movie. He made me worried for Batman. But fast forward, Batman's broken. He's trying to come back. He comes back after 8 years trying to bring down Bane and his henchmen. It doesn't work. He eventually climbs out of the prison, and then the last hour and a half is pretty much Batman and the city going up against Bane and his criminals. And it results in one of the best endings to a movie I've seen in a while. So the beginning of the movie's great. The ending of the movie's great. It drags a little bit in the movie. Again, I saw the movie at midnight. I had been up since 4 a.m. I didn't get home till 4 a.m. So I was up for 24 hours, and I was kind of, I don't want to say I was dozing off a little here and there, but, you know, a man has to sleep. Again, the fight scenes in here are brilliant. Hans Zimmer's score is one of the best scores you'll hear all year for this film. It sends it off perfectly. When Bane comes in, when the fights are coming through, when we know tension's coming, when we peel things back. The one scene I love, I think it's great, is when Bane, if you've seen it in the previews, obviously, is when Bane walks out after hearing the kids sing the national anthem and say, he has such a beautiful voice, or something like that. And then he proceeds to blow up the football field. Yeah. I think it's great. There's another thing in here with Scarecrow's also in here, and if you ever read, I think it's Nightfall Part 2, I believe, where it's Two-Face putting Batman on trial against his peers, and it's all villains and all that, and he's guilty. It's even funny because one of the guys, one of the cops or something, I flipped a coin, and my brother said, "Hey, Two-Face." But it's not The Dark Knight. It's, I don't know, you can't really match that. That film is perfect. At least in my opinion, it's perfect. The Heath Ledger performance, any villain that comes to do Batman, whether it's as the Joker, Bane, Two-Face, the Riddler, so on and so forth, will never match that performance, and that's part of why that movie was so great. I'm not saying this movie isn't great, but they weren't really trying to match it. They were just trying to send this movie off in a good fashion, and they succeeded. I came this close to tears. Yes, I can't believe it's over. But we'll see when this reboot happens how well that's going to be and all that. Do I think it's going to be as successful as The Dark Knight? Who knows? Do I think it's going to be as successful as The Avengers? Who knows? But I know people are going to see this movie. I, for one, enjoyed it, me being a huge Batman fan. I mean, I don't think you see any Batman stuff in here right now, but, since we are talking about Batman, we'll put this up here right now. I'll even give this a recommendation. If you're not reading Batman by Scott Snyder, I don't want to say something's wrong with you, but something's wrong with you. The movie's great. Hans Zimmer's score is great. Everybody does their roles perfectly, and it's a great send-off to an amazing trilogy that, has been a consistent franchise once Christopher Nolan stepped in. Christopher Nolan, I wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. I sound like I'm firing him. I'm not. But I wish him all the luck, because I don't know how he's going to top these movies. Everybody's performance is great. I was very surprised by a lot of people in this movie. And the ending, it's great. This is it for Rob's movie reviews. And, I threw a little Hans Zimmer music in. I threw a little comic action in. You get 3 for the price of 1. You're not paying for this stuff, so yeah. But as the trailer says, storm's coming. Rise.